Using place value to round whole numbers. You can round a number to the nearest 10 and to the nearest 100. Round 22 to the nearest 10. There's 22 counters. And 22 is between 20 and 30. Right? Those are the closest 10s. 20 and 30. Compare 22 to 20 and 30. 22 is 2 more than 20. And 22 is 8 less than 30. So 22 is closer to 20. So 22 rounded to the nearest 10 is 20. And I want to show you a cool way to write that. Watch. Write 22. And then you're going to write is almost equal to. Look at this funny sign. It's an equal with a bump. You see that? And that means it's almost equal to. And then are we going to put 20 or 30?
20.
20. Good. It's much closer to 20, isn't it? That's a fun new sign for you guys. Okay? Almost equal to. Okay? Now carefully turn to page 73. This time they're showing it on a number line. And again, it's find 22 on a number line. And did you see they have a blob there? Go ahead and with your pencil make that blob a bit bigger. Because it's pretty small. And dark. All right. Now compare 22 to 20 and 30. And you can see 22 is 2 away from 20 and 8 away from 30. So if we round it to the closest 10, it's 20, right? It shows very clearly on the number line. It's so much closer to 20. So here it says round 27 to the nearest 10. Use the number line. So let's go to this one, the second number line. And Andrew, where are we going to put the blob? Show me with your finger. Leg.
The 22?
Good guesses. Harvey? That's what Leg said. That's interesting.
22?
Okay. Read it again, all of you.
27?
Ah! Point. Show me with your finger on yours. Where is it? Yes, she got it. So guys, the blob has to go on the 27 on the number. Because it said round 27 to the nearest 10.
I know it
Use
says
the
round
number
27.
line.
Now it's like 27.
So now, looking at the 27. The closest 10s are 20 and 30. Which one is it closer to? The 30. Yeah. Did you agree, everybody? Yeah. This time we're going to put 27 is almost equal to 30. It's between 20 and 30, but it's much closer to 30. So write that.
It's only 4 spaces.
It's actually only 3. 1, 2, 3 spaces from 30. Okay, now you're going to take your packet and just flip it over, so you should be on page 74. You're out of stuff. value to round. Since you are rounding to the nearest 10, find the tens digit. So look at this number 83. How are they showing the tens digit? Like, what did they
80.
do?
They put a line
They
under.
put a little line under it. Do you guys see that? Do you know what I like to do instead? I like to do an arrow. So if it says to the nearest 10, I'm going to go like this. Units, tens, and put an arrow. Okay, that's what I do. But they put a little line under it. So 8 is in the tens place. Do you all agree? Okay. Now, this is the fun part. Stop drawing. Pencils down. All of you. Down. Good. Go to the number 2. Look at the digit to the right of the 8, because that's what's going to tell us where to round to. We know the 8 is in the tens place, but you need to look to the right. What do you see? A 3. Okay. There's a 3 in the units place. Now go here to this box. Box 3, everybody. Compare 3 with 5. 3 is less than 5. So the rounding rule says that if the number to the right of the rounding place is less than 5, you round down. So you're going to go to number 4 here, the box 4. Use the rules for rounding numbers. Round 83 down to the nearest 10, which is 80, right? Hey, I didn't say pick your pencil up. Leave the 8 in the tens place. You don't mess with that. Change the ones digit to a 0, because they want it to the closest 10. So that 3, it's going to change to a 0. So 83 rounded to the nearest 10 is 80. And you did that without an underline and without drawing, just by looking at the place value. Okay? Now they want you to use the number line to check that it really is. So where are we going to put the blob?
On 83.
83. Blob on the 83. And guess what? It's way closer to the 80 than the 90. Right? It's between 80 and 90. So now let's write 83. You can pick up your pencils. Is almost equal to. Somebody tell me. 80. Now, this way that they just taught you, it's harder to start with because you have to learn, your brain has to know, okay, I'm looking at the tens, but I'm going to look to the right, okay? But it's much easier than the other 2 ways when you get good at it, because you don't have to draw or write, right? You don't have to, like, draw a number line or make a bunch of blobs. Okay, let's turn to page 75. So you're going to flip this sheet. And they want you to use this new way. Okay? And they're going to be naughty. And they're saying here, round 284 to the nearest 100. Yikes. All right? So they're making it harder. Use place value to round. Since you are rounding to the nearest 100, find the hundreds digit. Okay, ready? Let's do my way. Go first. Pick up your pencils. Put a dot above the 4. Units. Dot above the 8. Tens. Arrow. Hundreds. What do you see? A 2. Okay. Step 2. Look at the digit to the right. What is it?
8.
An 8. There's an 8. Okay. Go to step 3 now. Compare. Try not to draw. Okay. Compare 8. Leif. Step 3, compare 8 with 5. 8 is greater than 5. The rounding rule says that if the number to the right of the place you are rounding to is 5 or greater, you round up. Okay, so step 4, use the rounding rule. Round 284 to the nearest hundred. Increase the hundredths digit by 1. We are going to go up. So change the rest of the digits to zeros. So look what they did. There was a 2 in the hundreds. It went up to a 3. Everything else became zeros. So 284 rounded to the nearest hundred is 300. Think about it. 284 is between 200 and 300. It's a lot closer to 300. All right, so we're going to write here 284 is almost equal to, and then somebody tell me how to finish that.
300.
Thank you. 300. Now it says to discuss with you guys, so pencils down. Discuss means talk about. When 284 is rounded to the nearest 100, explain why the decision to round up or round down depends on the 8. What's in the tens place? 8. Why does, so, because you know, they asked us to round to the nearest 100, so why were we looking at the 8, which is in the tens place?
Because the 8 tells you how it kind of tells you how close it is.
Yeah. If you're looking at the tens, right, that's going to tell you how close you are to the either 800 or 900. You can only figure that out by looking at the tens, because it could be, think about a number line. I'm waiting for Kaden to look at me. And you've got 800 over here and 900 over here. How are you going to figure out whether you're closer to the 800 or the 900? Well, you've got to look at the tens, right? Because it's going to be somewhere along here, and those are tens.
Because if you just look at the hundreds, you're like,
Well, it could be this one, or it could be this one, right? But the tens, they're in between. So you have to look at the tens to figure out which one it's closer to. Do you guys get it?
yes.
It's really weird, though. Miss Jenna, if you could find out where Jude is, I'd really appreciate it.
Oh, he left for the day.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, looks like they're going to have us do some number lines.
I love number lines.
Yay! I like number lines, too, because they're, like, very visual.
Number lines.
Number lines.
They're a little hard for me.
Well, that's why we practice, huh? But Kaden, you were the one that figured it out first, where to put the 22, remember? Or was it, no, the 27. You figured that out before all of these kids. Okay, round the number to the nearest 10. 47. So it's, you guys, look at the tens. It's between, let me talk. It's between 40 and 50. Those are the closest tens.
50.
Older. What are we going to do? Where's the blob going to go, buddy?
In between 7 and 4.
Well, we want 47. So where are we going to put that blob? Look on that number line and show us where to put that blob.
The nearest 10, right?
You just need to find where we're going to put the blob for 47.
Oh, just find 47.
You got it. Hey, everybody.
It's closer to 50.
It's closer to 50. So, see here where it says 47 rounds 2? Alder, what are we going to put? 40 or 50? Yeah, 50. Good. Okay. Number 2. 168. And again, it's to the closest 10. So the closest 10s are 160 and 170. That's harder, right? So where are we going to put the blob, Alexis? Get your honey on the rug. And show us where that blob goes. Good. So Alexis, what does it round to? 160 or 170? Yes. Okay. Now, just because they're super mean, look what they're asking you to do here. Round to the nearest 100. Rank 139.
You put the dot on 139.
Which would go where? I know. That's because this one's harder. Okay, Ren. So, Ren, the closest hundreds are 100 and 200.
In between, at the end of 139,
Right before 140? Okay, Ren. See, this one's stinky hard. So Ren says we need to go past 130, almost to 140, and put a blow. And he's right.
not quite touching it.
Not quite touching 140. Okay, Ren. Are we closer to 100 or 200? Yes. So do you see how that got harder, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
That was kind of confusing. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
isn't any. The next ones are really hard. Because I already tried to do them by myself, but I can't decide which one is which.
All right. We're going to go to number 4.
Can I do it?
Sure. 485. Rounds to. So, rinse it. Thank you. Hayden, where are we going to put our dot, our block?
Right here.
Okay, she's putting it after the 480. But I think you're too close to 480. It's going to go halfway to 490. Okay, kiddo? She's got it right about the 480. We need to go past that, don't we?
490?
Well, no, it's not at 490. It's kind of halfway between, right, girl? 485. We want it to be like sort of here, right? Got it, everybody?
From where?
So go to 480, and then go halfway to 490 and stop halfway.
From where?
Grayson's show. Yep. Got it. Did you get it, Alexis? Yep. Okay. Kaden. Is it closer to 400 or 500?
500.
Way closer.
So
good. Yeah. Really much closer.
That one's an easy one.
It was hard to find where to put the blob, but it was easy once we did that. Okay. Number 5. 650 rounds to length. You haven't done it. Where are we going to put it?
On 650 in the middle.
Yeah, so ladies.
So
Oh my
mean.
goodness.
They're so mean.
They're so mean. They're putting it right in the middle.
Of what?
So guess what, babe?
What?
When a number is halfway,
It's equal.
round up. They're giving you a clue. So where are you going to go to? The 600 or the 700? You have to go up. When a number is exactly halfway, his is halfway. So he's going, hey, which one's closer? Neither of them are. Right? It's exactly
I
halfway.
was confused
But
by
the
that.
rule is, when it's halfway, go.
So that's actually pretty easy. You just have to get the ball in the right spot. That's probably the hardest part.
Hey, Grayson, no. Erase. Okay. Ren, I do need you to sit. Thank you. Round the number to the nearest 10. 61. Okay, there's no number line. You're gonna go units, make a dot, all of you above that 1, and then tens. My arrow is on the 6, but I'm gonna look to the right, and it's a 1. Do I round up or down? Down. Anything less than 5, you go down. Anything 5 or more, you go up. 1 is a lot less than 5. So I'm going to put my is almost equal to, and then go down to 60, right? Leave that 6, but the 1 becomes the 0. You're going to go down, because the closest tens are 60 and 70. We want to go down to 60.
I'm putting a line under it because I think it's a surplus space.
Sure, you can do that. Number 7, we've got 88, so we're going to go units,
Skill 2.
tens. There's an 8 in the tens. Look to the right. Right. Look to the right. What do you see in the units? Another 8. So this time we're going to round up. So what's up from, this is between 80 and 90, right? We're going to go 80 and 90. We need to go up to 90. So that 8 in the tens becomes a 9. And then what do we do with the units?
Just keep it at 8.
No, a 0. So Caden, the reason we have to change the units to 0 is they're asking us to round to the closest 10, not any units. So we, bam, bye-bye units. Number 8, 35, go units, tens. There's a 3 in the tens, but what do you see to the right?
5.
Do we round up or down?
Up.
So that 3 is going to change to a 4. We're going to go up to 40. And the units become 0. Number 9. Woo! Get that one. So we're going to go units, tens, put an arrow. It's a 1. And hundreds, I'm not putting anything on that. I don't care about those. All I care about is finding the tens. And it's 1, but look to the right. What do you see? A 9. So we're going to go up. That 1 is going to go up to a 2. Keep the hundreds though. So we need that 4 in the hundreds. Look in the tens. That 1's going to become a 2. And of course, we all know what happens to the 4 units. So that one was hard. 400, because 419, the closest tens are 410 and 420. And it's going to go up to 420. On a number line, it would be much, much closer to 420. Not close to 410. The next one is also kind of hard. 271. Ready? Units. Tens. What do you see in the tens? 7. Look to the right. A 1. We're going to round down. That 7 is going to stay the same, and the units are just going to become zeros. All right, so put your is almost equal to sign. Do we need the hundreds? Yes, we do, guys. Because hundreds are bigger than tens. You got to keep those. The 7 stays. And the units, we don't need them because we're rounding to the closest 10, so it's a 0. So I want you to think about 271 on the number line. It's going to be between 270 and 280. And it's much closer to 270. Only 1 away.
One more to do.
One more. 574. Again, they want it to the closest tens, so you're going to go units, tens. What do you see? 7. And what's to the right?
4.
A 4. Okay. Are we going to round up or down?
Down.
Down. So this is going to become 570. Keep your 500s. Keep your 7 tens. The 1 becomes, the 4 becomes a 0.
I like rounding.
Rounding is great.
But what does it really do for you?
It helps you to estimate how much you need of something if you don't want to do the math. So if you were going to buy like treats for like the whole school and you didn't want to add up all the kids in every class, you would just say, okay, Miss Tammy's class has almost 20 kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Becky's class, same, almost 20. That's 20 plus 20 is 40. Miss Ruben's mom, Esther's class, 29. What's that almost equal to? 30. So now you have 20 plus 20, which is 40, plus 30 is 70. Miss Jenny Chavez's class has 25 kids. So you'd round that up to 30. So now that's
80.
Well, it's 70 plus 30 is 100. And then primary has about 27 kids, which is almost
Or if
30.
you didn't want to add up the money to get
So then you know it's
your
about 100.
free.
Excuse me. So then you know it's about 130.
Good for you.
That's a lot.
It is, but then you can run them by 130, and you'll have a little bit extra at the end, like probably 3 or 4 left over, which you can take home and eat yourself. So it's really helpful for when you're dealing with big numbers
Yeah.
and you don't want to add like all these little tiny amounts. You can just kind of ballpark it. It's great for guys that are construction because they can come and look at your house. They don't want to be there for hours. They only want to be there for a few minutes. But they can go, yeah, if they want me to redo their floors, it looks like it's about 17 feet by about 22, which is about the same as 20 times 20, which is about 400. So 400 square feet, and then they can, in their heads, they can go, okay, that's going to cost, let's say it's $2 per square foot. It's going to cost about $800. It's much easier for them to do it that way than to measure everything and add up every little bit. And then you can say, well, that sounds just about right. I think we can afford that.
But if it's not that exact, you can take away a few and keep a few.
Okay, we're going to go to the last page. You guys ready?
The only page that doesn't have any writing on it. Maybe more writing to do.
All right, round to the nearest 100. Okay, ready to do your dots. Go. Units, tens, hundreds. It's a 3. But next to it, what do you see? Another 3. It's going to go down. So we're going to just write is almost equal to, and this is super fun to the hundreds, guys. You just keep that 3 because they want you to go to the nearest 100. And what does everything else become? Zeros. So we're going to be doing a lot of zeros. The next one. Go. Units. Put a dot. Tens. Hundreds. There's a 1 in the hundreds. Look to the right. Let's see. 8. Leif. So we have to round up. What's going to happen to the 1?
A 2.
It's going to become a 2.
And
Everything else is zeros.
Hey, I did it too.
Do you want to walk us through the next one?
Yes.
Okay.
You put dot.
Units, tens,
Hundreds.
hundreds. What do you see, Ren? Tell us.
A 2. But look to the right.
Hey, speak louder so the kids watching the video can hear.
There's a 7. And so you round up.
So what's the 2 going to become?
That's going to come up to be
Good.
everything else
Wow. How'd he do?
Really well.
He did great. Would anyone like to try the next one? Grayson.
Put a dot on it, you put a dot on the fourth 5 and put a dot on the second.
You mean the number?
Yeah.
Because it's hundreds.
It's, look to the tens, it's a 5. So the 5 goes up and the west becomes 0, so it rounds up to 600.
Good. That 5 in the hundreds has to go up to a 6.
Can I try the next one?
Sure.
Put a dot on the 1 and the 4. Arrow on the 7. And
Loud voice, Caden. Lake turn.
so it's going.
Stop. Not okay. How's she feeling? Yeah. Okay, kiddo. So far, let's review what you said. You said put a dot on the 1, a dot on the 4, and an arrow on the 7s because that's hundreds. And then you said look, and then they started getting distracted. So look to
To the right, and then there's a 4 and a 1.
yeah.
So
You just care about the 4, right?
It goes up,
4 is less than 5.
down, goes down, and everything else turns into 0, and we keep the 7.
Good girl. So this number shrank a bit. It went from 741 down to 700. Leif, would you like to walk us through the last one?
So 9.
Wait, what are we doing?
So put 2 dots on the units and tens, and then the arrow on the hundreds. And it's 903. So we have to go down, which makes 800.
Good, but I'd rather you say, once you find the 9 in the hundred space, look to the,
Units.
no,
Right?
Left,
to the right. Look to the right, and what do you see?
a 3.
No,
A 0.
yes,
So you have to go down.
good. Okay. Now here it says, choose the best answer. To the nearest 10, which number rounds to 80? Would 70 round to 80? No.
It would just be 7.
It would just be 70. To the nearest 10, 70 is 70. That's very weird, isn't it? How about 75?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, that would go to 80. Okay, how about 85?
No.
No, that would go up to 90. How about 89?
No.
That would go up to 90. It's B. Okay, let's try the next one. To the nearest 100. Which number rounds to 500? Rensick. Honey, when you do that, it makes a shadow in here and then the kids in the video can't see. Okay, to the nearest 100, which number rounds to 500? 438?
No.
449?
No.
Yes.
540?
Yes. No.
Or 555?
B.
You guys think it's 449? Okay, let's, or you pick B. Let's try it. Put a dot for the units. Alexis, turn and face me, please. Turn and face me, please. Thank you. Put a dot on the units. Put a dot on the tens. Put an arrow on the hundreds because they want us to look for the closest 100. Look to the right. There's a 4. So what's going to happen to the 4 in the hundreds?
Go down.
Yeah, it's going to stay as a 4. It's not going to go up. This becomes 400. Did you guys pick the right one?
I did.
Okay, Grayson, no, you said it was B. You even circled B. So this is not the right one. This rounds to 400. They want one that rounds to what? Lake?
5.
500. So is B correct?
No.
Grayson, which one do you think it is?
C.
Okay, let's try C. I'm going to use a different color. Dot on the units. Dot on the tens. Leaf. Arrow on the hundreds. What do you see in the hundreds? In the hundreds?
A 5.
A 5. Okay, look to the right. What do you see?
A 4.
A 4.
Goes down.
Okay, so the 5 stays, but everything else becomes
0.
zeros.
So that's right.
And it's C.
See the answer.
20. Miss Torney's class has 28 students. To the nearest 10, how many students does her class have?
20.
Leif, you want to walk us through it? Okay.
30.
All right, show us how you did it.
I did it because 20, I looked
Let's
at
do the dots and the arrows.
I got 28. They put a dot on the units and an arrow on the tens. And then I looked at the tens and looked right and saw there was an 8, so it had to go up.
So we're going to write 28 is almost equal to what Leif said. The 2 changes becomes a 3. We are going up because there's an 8 next to it. And then everything else becomes 0. All right, we will stop at this point. If you are watching this lesson and you want to continue and finish, you may, but we're out of time, so you don't have to.